As David Humphries and Ricky Haynes meet for the Professional Karate Commission's vacant welterweight crown. Brad Nessler, Ninja Turtles Pat Johnson, and Joe Corley were at ringside for the action.
We await the bell, and there we have it. We're underway in round one. David Humphries and Ricky Haynes. Haynes on your left, Humphries on your right. 155 pounds, Rick Haynes. 152 for David Humphries. Boy, both of them have it packed in that 6-foot frame.
Pat Johnson, David Humphries has been described as country boy tough by some people. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina. Trains extremely hard. He has a square ball joint in his hip. He can't pivot when he throws his kicks. Ricky Haynes is a technician. If you had to pick now, would it be the heart or the technique that would win this fight 30 seconds in?
Well, when we're talking a 12-round fight, I got to go with the heart. Besides that, David Humphries has the experience. I mean, he's got 32 fights under his belt as compared to 15. When you're going the distance, when you're going this long, I have to go with the experience.
Both of them very hungry and looking for a title, and you can't ask for more than the top two contenders to fill that vacant crown. And we're in the early stages, a long way to go, remember, scheduled for 12 rounds.
As we watched the fighters yesterday hitting the bag to be measured by Barry French, continuing his research with his power and speed measurements, it seemed like Ricky Haynes definitely had the advantage.
This has seemed like a long round one, and we wind down to the 22nd mark. These two starting to mix it up a little bit more here. There's a nice left jab by Haynes and a good overhand right, but Humphries comes back with some body work of his own, and round one coming down to a close. Haynes and Humphries in round two. Haynes comes out with good front kick there. Remember, 8 effective strong kicks per round or more required by these fighters. There's a good front kick again, straight ahead. I think that one missed just a little bit. We had a pretty good angle on it. A round kick to the head of Humphries, just a little bit high.
I had not seen Humphries fight before. The impression I had, Pat Johnson, was that he was just going to come in and move straight forward without slowing down, but he seems to be pacing himself relatively well.
I think that's the experience showing. Also, he doesn't know his opponent well. It's obvious that he's trying to feel him out. He's trying to find out what his favorite techniques are. He looks to me like he'd be more effective as a counter fighter as opposed to an offensive fighter, and I think you have to know your opponent better to be a good counter fighter.
Haynes misses with a wild left. Humphries got a couple pretty good lefts in as he moves to his left around the ring. Good strong shots when Haynes comes out there with a left hook. Haynes with a left jab, and Humphries answers with a combination. Round two, scheduled for 12. PKC World Welterweight Championship on the line. Good short right hand inside that you may not have seen by Haynes.
Pat Johnson, pretty good head movement there by Humphries. Seems to be watching the punches pretty well.
Yes, he is. Left hook. Very well. There's a perfect counter punch. Counter left hook.
Great left hook, and down went Haynes. Here at the end of round two. We're going to take another look at that from round two. Right on the button.
Eyes were very strong then, Pat Johnson, right on target.
Absolutely. You know, what I see is that Ricky Haynes is really trying to take the fight away from David Humphries. So what he's doing, he is attacking, and the best way to fight an offensive fighter is to attack him. You take away his offense.
Haynes taking every last moment over in his corner. He comes out to start round three.
Humphries wanted to touch gloves. Haynes thinking that's probably not a real wise idea. His glove has touched him once too many already.
Especially right there before the bell at the end of round two. And Haynes now seems a bit more cautious. David Humphries, another pretty good left hand.
He hit so much harder with that left hook in this ring than he was hitting the bag the other day in the fourth session. It seems like he needs a reflex action of some kind in order to really give him the power that goes with it.
There are some players, you call them gamers. They just need the proper incentive to go. Some people just can't practice properly. This kid is a gamer. He wants to fight.
If Joe could have painted a picture of Ricky Haynes on that bag, that may have helped the velocity of the kicks, huh? Now Humphries has Haynes backing up again.
He's got Haynes flinching a little bit there too as he's backing up. He's wary of the Humphries power.
Pretty good overhand right, glancing blow. Haynes backed away just at the last moment, or that may have landed flush as well. Third round scheduled for 12.
Bill Clark warned Humphries for throwing that front kick, landed just slightly below the belt.
Chin down, David. Chin down, David. Chin down. Chin down. 30 seconds, David. 30 seconds. Let's go.
The biggest flaw I see so far in David Humphries, every time he throws that front kick, he drops his left hand. And Haynes has such a good right. If he catches him at the proper time, if he thinks in terms of counterpunching, he's got a big opening for his right hand.
Big overhand right there. Got the crowd fired up, but I think Haynes blocked most of it with a left glove. Coming down to the end of round 3, and it's getting active in the final seconds. There's the bell to start round 4 for the PKC World Welterweight Championship here in Lake Helen, Florida. Pat Johnson joining us here at ringside with Joe Corley. Boom Boom Jeffrey on. I'm Brad Nessler. We're at the beautiful Nautilus Sports Medical Industries corporate headquarters. And the folks have been great to us here in our stay. Quite a facility this is.
Ricky Haynes won the world title from Johnny Davis in Rockford, Illinois, held it for a few months, and then lost it back to Alvin Crowder. Alvin Crowder, shortly thereafter, was shot in Los Angeles. He is recuperating now in a situation, I believe, Pat Johnson, at his cousin's house where there was a street gang.
There was a street gang fight, and he tried to move in and just break the fight and stop the violence, and that's what he got for his troubles. Certainly a man of great courage, and we hope in a speedy recovery.
The Wolf, the former champion, and trying to win a title against a tough customer in David Humphries.
You know, right now I really don't know who's number 1 and number 2. He's so even up.
Exactly right.
Come off of that, Jay.
Haynes came in that way, number 1, and Humphries number 2, but you couldn't tell it, that's for sure. There's a good overhand right. He may have pulled that punch back a little bit. He should have followed through just a little more with that one. Now he backs Haynes again up to the ropes. Haynes misses with a left hook, and Humphries goes to work inside. Good combination. He's got him wobbly again. They're going to send Humphries to the neutral corner. And we'll see a standing 8 here for Ricky Haynes.
Hey, you took too many. Okay, don't do that.
He definitely wiggled him in that one. Definitely wiggled him.
Haynes now doesn't have too many seconds he has to dance. There's the bell. It ends the round. Haynes definitely hurt in that exchange on the ropes.
Well, again, Brad, you notice that David Humphries, when he goes on the defense, he's looking for an opening. He's blocking, but he's looking for an opening to counter. Whereas Ricky Haynes, when he is on the defensive, he just covers. See, he's not looking for an opening for anything to counter. And allowing your opponent to throw that many blows, eventually he's going to find the opening. He's going to get one in.
He's really drilling the power Humphries is to the body. You can see that he has the superior punching power, and he seems to thrive on that inside fighting.
Absolutely. That is his game.
As any of you know, if you pound the body long enough, the head will follow. And finally, Haynes couldn't keep the guard up anymore, dropped it, and that left hook just about sent him to the canvas. There's a bell, round 5. Scheduled for 12. If they fight this round like they did the last 20 seconds of the last round, it will never go 12.
We said this is the first time we've had David Humphries on one of our broadcasts. He was riding down flying in yesterday, and people on the plane confused him with Jerry Trumbull. Their hair is just about the same.
Great resemblance.
You know what, Joe? He
Fighting
looks
style
like
is
him.
completely different.
Fighting styles are different, but like you say, boom, boom, they look a lot alike. Humphries said, of course, he's better looking.
And Humphries has looked the better of the two fighters over the past couple of rounds. How do you have it scored, Joe Corley? Close?
I've got Humphries a point and a half ahead myself, 38.5 to 37. And Haynes definitely has given up the idea that he wants to stand and punch it out with Humphries now. He wants to one-shot him and fight him from the outside from here on out, it seems to me.
Pat, what you were talking about earlier, you can see that left hand come down when Humphries goes in with the front kick. Is that a matter of him not having the proper balance or what?
No, well, actually what it is he's concentrating so much on getting the kick in that he completely forgets about his hand. Someone has to stand in his corner and say, keep the hand up, make him conscious of it, because he just is not aware that he is doing it.
Left hook was blocked, but the right hand got through on Ricky Haynes.
In the first couple of rounds, I felt that Haynes was more effective when he was blending his hands and feet together. He forced David Humphries to do more defense, but now he's either throwing a kick or stopping and then throwing a hand, which enables Humphries to block one or the other and not keeping him busy enough defensively.
Haynes may be too busy defensively, and there he took a low blow.
An uppercut, an accidental uppercut, but I tell you, accidental or not, they don't feel any better.
Definitely not.
Right.
Sure. It definitely got Ricky's attention.
Ricky tells Bill Clark he's all right, but he's going to take a little respite here. Just a few seconds left in this fifth round.
Nice young man, he says, yes, sir.
And warning for the low blow, and then the yes, sir, to Bill Clark.
Yeah, I like when they get close like that and they say, you all right? And all of a sudden, here comes a right.
Again,
you do that.
Keeps him right there.
You do that at your own peril. No matter when you do it at your own peril.
First round is all right, and the 12th round is fine too, but might as well save it, those middle 10 rounds.
Pat Johnson, you saw that round kick then off his back leg. He gets absolutely no pivot off that left foot because
I noticed
that ball joint.
Really a stiff kick, very ineffective. He might be able to use it as a combination, but not as an initial kick. It would never work.
We saw it there again. He cannot get it up as a roundhouse kick.
It's quite a handicap to have to fight with.
They said he is probably going to have his hip sockets replaced when he's about 40 years old.
Not a pleasant thought.
Good left hand by Humphries inside. It's been one of his more effective weapons. That left hook has been brutal on Ricky Haynes so far through 5 rounds.
I think one of the things that David Humphries has done is he knows his limitations and he stays within himself very, very nicely. He's in control of himself, and if he's in control of himself, he can control his opponent and the fight.
There's a good short right by Haynes in close. Haynes trying to pick up his pace a little bit. In the middle of the ring, nice uppercut. There's a good left hook by Haynes. Overhand right was long. There's an overhand right that caught the back of the neck of Haynes. He comes in with a short left, and these two going at it on the ropes. Good uppercut by Haynes. Humphries right there with him. Look at the punches exchanged by these two welterweights. Haynes trying to fight his way off the ropes. Humphries not moving an inch. Somebody might give here eventually. There's a good left. Humphries with a good uppercut. Haynes with a good left and finally backs it away, and the bell sounds, and that'll bring the crowd to its feet here in Lake Helen, Florida.
Well, what happened in that round is not going to tell in that round. But 2 rounds later, the effectiveness of all of this is going to really show in one fighter. The fighter that's in the best condition is going to come out on top. This will tell eventually.
It seems to me like Humphries' punches, when they land, seem to have probably 15 to 20% more effect. So if what you're saying is true, 2 rounds later, Humphries will have a decided advantage from exchanges like that.
Absolutely.
There you see him just going at it, punch for punch on the ropes.
Humphries has more of his body in his blows when he lands. Haynes is landing pretty much arm punches, except when he gets a left hook turned around.
Well, if you notice that Haynes stands with his legs parallel, and he does not really have a lot of torque with his hip because of that. He's using his upper body. whereas Humphries stands with one leg back behind the other, and when he twists, then he's able to really torque his hip into the blows, giving him that additional power.
So we're into round 7, scheduled for 12. And these two maybe still just a little bit tired from what went on in the final minute of the last round.
Boomer, did you coach many hockey players that were like David Humphries, as Pat was saying, maybe they couldn't perform well in the gym, but when the game got started, in other words, when they would practice, they couldn't do very well, but then when they were in a game, they would do extremely well?
Yeah, I had one guy, Kurt Bennett.
Is that right?
Kurt Bennett, he left the practice. He was practicing all kinds of stuff. But there's no question he was playing better when the action was there and the opposition was there than practicing against his own opponent.
Kurt Bennett, a nice man, played with the Atlanta Flames, still living in Atlanta. Very, very nice man.
What kind of practice player was Tim Ecclestone?
Tim Ecclestone, he left the practice because he was a hard worker. He was more, at the end of his career, he was more like a defensively player, killing penalty.
He's still practicing a lot. Now it's his golf game.
That seems to me, Pat, a weapon that Haynes should have been using effectively the whole time is that left jab.
Absolutely.
To stop the initial movement of David Humphries.
Yes, setting up the kick, and that's where he would be effective, is blending the hands and feet. But he's got to set up the kick. The kick takes a relatively longer time to get to its target. Very nice jab.
The speed advantage, I think I'd be telling him definitely double up on that jab. Don't try to reach with it. And quit trying to knock Humphries out.
Haynes a bit more of a stalker at the end of this round, but Humphries, with continuous motion, is making him chase as we come to the close of the round. Saw a great thing on Chuck Norris the other night on the David Letterman show. He was talking about he had to fight 3 guys in his newest movie. One of them's his brother, one was a professional stuntman, and one was just an extra, and they were out of stuntman. The extra said, I can take it, I'm in good shape. And so he's the first man that approached Norris, and Norris says he always makes a little bit of contact at least to make the fight scenes look real. So he knocked the guy out cold with his first kick, hit him in the midsection. The guy went down like a sack of potatoes, and he said, I got so flustered, I forgot what I was supposed to do with the rest of the scene. He said, the next stunt guy came flying in, I knocked him out with one kick, and then my brother came in, I did the same to him. So he knocked 3 guys out in a fight scene in a movie.
And he probably felt a lot worse than they did.
Yes, that's right. 8th round, scheduled for 12. Welterweight Championship of the World. And Ricky Haynes and David Humphries have shown well here at the Nautilus Sports Medical Industries corporate headquarters. Crowds really enjoyed this action tonight. Haynes tries a round kick, didn't get it up far enough.
Again, Ricky Haynes has stopped blending the hands and feet and throwing only kicks. That's 5 kicks in a row he's thrown without one hand technique. Can't be effective that way.
You're exactly right. He's sending the signal. I'm either going to punch or I'm going to kick.
There's a good right hand by Haynes. Humphries on his horse. Continues to circle to his left. Going to stay away from the left hook of Haynes.
Humphries reminds me as much, I guess, as anybody as Ross Scott. A small Ross Scott. Not a lot of finesse.
He's a fighter. He's definitely a fighter.
He took a pretty good overhand right from Haynes, and he looked at Haynes and nodded as if to say, nice shot. Left jabs by Humphries as he continues to circle and finally squares off and throws a right hand that got through the guard of Rick Haynes. There's a good right by Haynes. And another. Put the hands together, but again doesn't come up with the kicks to follow it.
What made that last right hand effective by Haynes was the fact that he faked the front kick. And David reacted to the front kick fake and left himself wide open for that right hand.
End of the round.
Here's that fake. See, he faked the front kick, and when David reacted to it, it left him open for that right hand.
That's right.
By blending the hands and feet earlier, he set him up for it. That's exactly what Ricky Pierce did. But that was Ricky Haynes' best round. But I think that David Humphries was coasting. That's experience.
Bill Clark has had a busy night. Third man in the ring, about ready to bring them together for the bell for round 9. Haynes comes right out again with the footwork.
Humphries had the gloves stuck out to touch gloves and almost ate the side kick.
3 straight round kicks with the right leg by Haynes.
That should be his defensive weapon. Every time Humphries starts to kick, he should have to eat a jab.
Yes, that's a very effective weapon. Now you saw that time that David Humphries did not react to the fake front kick. He was burned once with it, and that time he reacted properly.
Humphries, I guess, is the man that got the warning for the kick in the back, but he said, hey, turned his back on me, ref.
Yeah, but I don't think he could have stopped.
No, he couldn't.
Could not have. Many times when you start a technique like that, if you hesitate at all, you leave yourself opening for a counter. So once you begin it, you have to follow through.
Well, that left hook had knockout written all over it.
Like a helicopter blade. Round 9. 3.5 rounds or less to go.
Just pawing with that left jab, getting ready to drop the right hand in there.
Looking for the opening, trying to make Ricky react to that jab so that he can drive something in behind it.
Haynes was down early in this fight, took a standing 8 count, and has shown really no ill effects of that knockdown at this point. Humphries trying to measure and to throw a big right hand, and he got tagged with a left hook. Another left hook that misses. Haynes trying to go to work on the ropes, but Humphries backs him away with a good inside punch. Caught him again. The left and the right. Now Haynes with a left hook again.
If you'll notice that David Humphries is waiting to counter. He's looking for the opening. When Ricky Haynes comes back with that speed, with that quick blow, he catches David Humphries looking for the counter punch, and he's wide open.
Joe Corley, I'm looking over Boom Boom over here trying to see your writing. I'm trying to check out how you have it unofficially scored.
I've got Haynes catching up. At one point I had him down by 3 full points. I've got him now back within a half point of David Humphries. But I tell you, a lot of these flurries are happening so quickly that it's hard for me to tell whether blows are landing on the shoulder or whether the guy's off balance and it's not landing. So while I'm running my mouth talking about it, it's hard to watch and score at the same time.
Well, I honestly believe that Haynes won the last 2 rounds.
He did.
10th round here.
That time they both touched gloves.
6 minutes left. Both guys seem to have a lot of stamina left. But Humphries does not seem to be quite as sharp as he was 4 rounds back.
He may feel that he had a bigger lead than he did have and may be coasting too much, allowing Ricky to get back the momentum. And he's really taking advantage of it. That is, Ricky Haynes is taking advantage of it.
Fun to watch the eyes of the two fighters. Haynes seems to keep his eye on the head and shoulders of David Humphries, and Humphries likes to keep a bead right in the midsection. A lot of coaches will tell you, boom, boom, you can't move that part of your torso if you keep an eye on somebody's midsection. It's the one part they can't swivel on you. That's kind of the way those two are approaching it. Humphries out of North Carolina, Haynes from Rockford, Illinois. He has Brad Hefton, the U.S. Super Heavyweight champion in his corner, and another low blow, and they're going to take a point away from David Humphries.
That was not an intentional move, but Bill Clark has warned him twice in this fight for kicking low. Now Haynes, it better look like Haynes should be warned now.
Yeah.
Pat Johnson was one of the all-time great strategists in point karate. What would you be telling David Humphries in the corner after this round, PJ?
He's going to have to get a little more aggressive. He is allowing Haynes to take the fight away from him. What he has to do now is take Haynes' strong suit, that is his offense, away from him by going forward. He's going to have to change his strategy and throw the timing of Haynes out.
If Joe Corley's scoring is close or accurate, that 1 point could make a whole bunch of difference.
A lot of difference. And what would be your advice to Ricky Haynes?
Ricky Haynes is going to have to go forward, not play defense, but go on the offense. He's going to have to use his superior quickness. That's his asset, his forte. He's going to have to do it.
2 of the hardest hitting videos ever offered can now be yours.
Round 11 here. And Humphries went to put the gloves on. Haynes let him have it with a left round kick right in the right cheek. He may not do that again after this fight. Haynes all business here in the last few rounds. And Humphries' pace has slowed. He tries to back Haynes into the neutral corner, and Haynes left hooks his way out of there.
You know, it seems to me, Pat, that Haynes may have actually, or Humphries, I should say, may have lost a little bit of concentration.
I really feel that's true. He's definitely not the same fighter he was in the first 7 rounds. And it's strange because when you're in the ring with a person, you can feel what he's feeling. You're so close that the emotions that you're experiencing show in so many ways. And I believe that Haynes has picked up on that. And he's moving forward. He's got more aggressive because of it.
Almost another low kick by Humphries.
It may have been said prior to this that David Humphries brought more heart into this ring. I think he may have brought more power into the ring, but I'm not real sure it'd be safe to say he brought more heart.
Definitely not. No one can question Haynes' heart.
Ricky Haynes trying to move in, gets a good overhand right, missed with the left.
Definitely a low blow thrown by Haynes that Humphries was alluding to. It hit him on the thigh.
There's another blow that was questionable, left hook. 20 seconds left, round 11. Boy, don't go away. Looks like both are going to be ready for the 12th.
Turn it around just that fast. Seems like I saw that one coming like it was deja vu.
Haynes is really hurt too. They may not let it continue. Well, the bell saves him. He goes to his corner and stumbles onto the stool in his corner.
Well, look at that. The eyes of Humphries, and the punch was aimed right at that knockout point of the jaw. I mean, this is not a guy who just accidentally caught him on that point. That was a man who aimed for it.
You said a little earlier that you felt that Humphries had lost his concentration. He got it back in an awful big hurry.
He got it back in the middle of a flurry.
Yeah, but I agree with you. He got it back, but did you see that punch that Humphrey gave him? If you look at Ricky where his arm was, the whole side of his face was wide open.
Exactly.
So intent on his own offense.
Haynes taking all the rest he can in his corner. He comes out for the 12th and final round. Will he weather it? We'll find out. Humphries seemed to be the winner of that last round, and as close as Joe has it scored in his unofficial.
Humphries still wanted to touch gloves with him, and Haynes just wouldn't do it. That's not a good way to win friends and influence people in the fight game.
You see, Joe, there's one thing I don't understand. He had his man down. He's still not clear. His head is still not clear, Ricky. And he's not going after him.
That may be because of a lack of concentration. Could very well be. Seems like the corner would have insisted that he go right after him.
Sometimes when you fight not to lose, which is what Humphries is doing now, you pay the price rather than trying to fight to win.
Spinning back kick off the right side of the jaw, though. Front kick effective as well. He's done most of the damage he's done with his hands, not his feet, but a couple of good kicks here, the 12th and final round.
We're 11 rounds in, and I've got David Humphries 104 to 103.5.
I would have to agree with your scoring. It's really close. It'd be hard to have him behind, having scored 2 knockdowns in the fight.
You should never leave it up to the officials in any sport if you can possibly help it. You should try to do it yourself, and that's what Humphries and Haynes are trying to do on the ropes right now. Don't leave it to chance. And they're opening up on each other again here. With less than a half minute to go in the fight, spinning back fist missed. Good uppercut. Humphries working the body. This is how he knocked Haynes down early in the fight. And a good combination, good uppercut. He might have him knocked down again before this one's over. Haynes trying to battle back. Fans are on their feet, final 10 seconds. Haynes looks like he's going to weather it, but Humphries on the attack. And it's all over. is quite a battle. Standing ovation here. Side, but those don't matter. The official judges do. And let's find out how they viewed this fight and go to our ring announcer, Larry Black.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready with the decision here in the beautiful Nautilus Sports Medical Center. Judge Keeney scores the fight 118-115. Judge Willis scores the fight 117-116.5. Judge Lloyd scores the fight 117-114. The new welterweight champion for the PKC by unanimous decision, David Humphries.